Hello and welcome to IT Chronicles 10 in Tech. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada at the ServiceNow Knowledge 18 conference. Today we're speaking with Elina Pirjanti, I hope I got that right, from Cognizant. Welcome, Elina.
Thank you.
Hi, Elina. Lovely to see you again.
So, Elina, you did a presentation. You spoke at the conference. My understanding it's around enterprise service management, but what I'd like to talk a little bit more about is, business services. We're hearing a lot about at this conference. Why do they care? Why does business really care about the service side of this?
Why should they care?
Yeah, why should they care?
Yeah.
Because we've always talked about it from the IT side, but
Yes.
now we're hearing basically, hey, we really need to talk about it from the business perspective. So tell us a little bit about
That's right.
about how that works.
So, IT should care. Business should care more about services probably, because we manage IT services. We manage them pretty well, and we've been doing that for maybe 20 years. But at the same time, we have a lot of similar type of services in the organizations, which we don't manage. We don't manage the cost. We don't manage the value. And they might be also a bit of ad hoc based. So if we would do digitization of these services, it needs to be more standardized, more consistent, so that we can put it in a tool. It makes sense, right? So at the same time, we collect data.
Yep.
And we can actually start managing those services as well. We can see what's the cost, what's the value.
So, I mean, is there really any difference between services on one hand that the business thinks of as services and IT services?
Exactly.
There isn't really, I mean, any service uses IT. So does that make any service an IT service?
Yes, because they are typically technology is the enabler. That's not the reason to do service management, but the enabler. And can make it faster, can make it automated, can make it standardized.
Yes.
So IT is there, definitely. But as an end user, if you're, for example, employee of an organization, you don't really care. You just want to have the service, whether it's HR, whether it's facilities management or IT. And there has been a trend to put these sort of services, for example, in a service portal. But what now the end users are commenting is that they actually want to get cross-departmental services instead of like point-to-point departmental services, because they really don't care who is providing the service. They just need to have something done, and the organization
they want to put their request in at this end
yes.
and get the result at that end, but they don't really care what happens in the middle and who it touches.
And which organizations are touching it. So that's now becoming a trend in organizations that they are seeing. They're getting feedback from the end users that, look, this is pretty good, but this is not good enough, that they actually want to have it end-to-end process.
Right. So it really sounds like the point in time that when we started the IT services and going through those, that machinery to understand, hey, I'm asking for a server, I'm asking for a router, I'm asking for a storage. So it sounds like the same thing if we just do a find and replace on the terms. Basically, it sounds like that's the stage that they're at in terms of maturity, which we know ultimately then results in, hey, all those IT services we've been trying to put in place, then they leverage those. So how does that work in terms of realizing the value? Because that's the other part that we struggled on the IT side is, hey, we put in these requests, but did I get what I was asking for? Is it the quality that I wanted? How do we put the safeguards in there on the business side to also have those metrics being captured early and defined early, so that we know that what was provided to them is actually delivered? Yeah, I mean, you understand that we need to make sure that we're giving them what they want, not what we want to give them.
Yeah, or what we think they want.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So especially when we digitize processes, we think we know what the business need, and sometimes also business want to put it exactly like it's working now and miss the opportunity to transform the process and make it to the next level, re-engineer the process so that it would create more value. So it's actually active discussion between technology provider and the business, try to listen and try to understand what's their pain points and what do they really need, because they don't always know the answer. They cannot ask it because they don't know yet. And when you find the sweet spot, then everyone's happy, obviously. But yeah, the big learning is that don't assume that you know. Go and listen, more like listening than talking, and understand the business, how the business process works.
You need to understand what the questions that you need to ask.
Yes.
And we've also got to remember too that we've been doing IT service management for a long time, and we're used to the questions to ask. We know what we want to get out of the other end. It's a new concept for the business.
That's right.
So you've got to take those baby steps to get them confident that what we're trying to do is going to work for them, and give them the business results and that value that they're after.
I mean, and how do we address? Because one of the things that, especially from the IC, they have the budget. So I think there's a mind shift that they're going to have to overcome as well. And hey, we have the budget. We're asking you to do something. Period. End of story. Why are you telling us now to change how we interact with you? We've already approved this project. Go and do it. And here we are now saying, well, let's not just go and build what you already had. Let's not just give you the same exact thing. It's like, why don't we re-engineer it? Why don't we look at it to remove friction? Why don't we look to really make it more efficient, so maybe you don't have to use that full budget, and we can do other things and build it more as a platform rather than a point solution. We always talk about, do we always want snowflakes? Well, we really don't. We don't want everything to be unique.
Yes.
So how do we get engaged with business that way? I mean, that's going to be a big challenge.
It is a challenge, and as a consultant, it's like a daily management of that business relationship. So you need to just keep talking and keep understanding what they need, and try to get the understanding in business terms and the outcome what they want to achieve, instead of going in the solutioning mode, which, funnily enough, everyone does nowadays, because we have mobile phones, we use technology all the time. So actually, business is often giving the requirements very detailed, like a red button in the left corner, and this is not the conversation we want to have. You want to have it in a business terms. What's the outcome, and why you want to achieve it? What's the reason? And then try to figure out maybe different ways of delivering that. And when you do the technology part, the good thing about, for example, cloud services or web applications is you can do piloting often.
Yes.
So you can show different sort of mock-ups.
A/B solutions, and like, okay, which one's really working better? Which one do you like better?
Yeah, so you can get feedback very quickly. So it's a different setup than having a 1-year project, and then in the end you look, the baby's ugly, and you cannot do anything about it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think some of it too that I really like about doing this is that we're actually giving the ownership of these services back to the business.
That's right.
Where they've in the past have tried to say, well, it's got an IT in it. There's technology in there, so IT can look after it. So saying to the business, well, actually, this is your service. You tell us how you want it to work.
That's true. Yeah. But I think the relationship with IT is also ruined in a little bit. That they're used to talk with IT terms, and this is actually not the conversation we want to have.
We want to talk in business terms. We have to, and it's all about that value. If you have to be able to, technologists have to learn to be able to express value rather than.
And a lot of it, I think, we've done that. We've kind of brought that on over the years by trying to talk to them in technology terms, and here we are now, years later, saying, "Oh no, let's not talk technology. Let's talk your business value." So we've kind of confused, I think, that issue, but we're finally kind of coming along. I guess we kind of smartened up. Maybe the baby's not as ugly anymore, but. Elina, thank you for joining us. Always great speaking with you.
Yes.
Glad that your presentation went well, and looking forward to seeing a lot of progress going forward.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Elina.
Thank you.